You are listening to the Primetime Podcast with your hosts, Bryant Shizzle and Jake Jorgensen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and mantis. Welcome to the Week 15 Wildcard Weekend Rewind. I'm here with a winner and a loser. And Jake, you're the loser, so Lane,
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Feeling good.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Feeling like a championship.
Oh, that makes one of us. Yeah, I thought I had a pretty entertaining time on my bye, but I think Yahoo's kind of bugging out because it gave me a bye last week, and now I'm playing in the consolation bracket. I didn't lose. Book.
What? Let's see. Consolation semifinals. Yeah. What the?
I played Nick B. I didn't even play last week. I got a bye.
Oh,
Stud.
I think I see it. I see. Yeah, it just went to the bye, and now you guys play this week for whatever reason, just to keep it in line with the
Championship.
bracket.
Yeah, keep it in line with the championship.
Yeah, because that's where I belong, right? We're doing the double elimination, right? So after I win the consolation, I can win the ship still.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that one.
Pain.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
So, it was an eventful weekend. The group chat was flying. There was only one competitive game. Rip Brandon. I guess we'll start there. This was tough.
I guess so.
And it started off horribly on Thursday night for Brandon. A big old goose from Cooper Cup. That was Thursday, right? Yeah, it was, because that was the game that...
Yeah, that was Thursday.
What's his face? Who was the guy that didn't go in for the Niners when Greenlaw was hurt?
Was it
Devondre
Devondre
It was
Campbell.
Campbell? Okay, it was Campbell. I couldn't remember if it was Campbell or Zadarius Smith.
Nope.
Definitely something Z would do, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough outing from Cooper Cup. A big old goose when it matters most. I mean, Brandon's team didn't do that badly. If Cooper Cup isn't a goose, right? Say it's Garrett Wilson or Jerry Jeudy or one of those guys, he has a pretty darn good week, 140, 150. The rest of his team was totally fine. James Conner, 34 points in the flex. Very nice. But, Lane, dude. Jared Goff,
Yeah,
Amon-Ra. Stack.
it just works. I mean, it can kill me depending on the week when they just decide, all right, let's just run everything in. But hey, I mean,
I believe, this is Jared Goff's highest scoring week of the year. 53 points.
Has to be.
Yeah, it is. It is close, though, because he's had one other fantastic week, and it was against Lane's boys, the Jags, in week 11. He had 48. Other than that, though, I mean...
Okay, that's closer than I thought it would have been.
Yeah, it is. But other than that, I mean, he's had one 34-point game, and the rest of them are, sub 20 apart from the Green Bay weeks, 27. It's really not that great, but he can have a hell of a game. Amon-Ra, the big beneficiary of that, 193 yards, 14 catches, 1 touchdown. Stud. So that helps a ton. It also helps when you have Keenan Allen with 20 points. I think he had a ton of targets too, didn't he? No, he only had 6 catches, but I thought he had, 13 targets. James Cook, 31 points, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, couple catches. Oh, just one for 28. Catch. It really hides the fact that Derrick Henry's been kind of stinking it up. But I guess when Lamar scores all the touchdowns against the Giants, you just don't need Derrick Henry. I don't think he really played much in the fourth quarter. Oh.
No, not that I remember at least.
67 yards, and when you're Derrick Henry, you will get little to no receptions, and if you're not getting a touchdown, well, 6.7 it is, baby. But shit, it doesn't matter, man. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen, James Cook. Let's go. Big
Just
lane
from
dub.
that, yeah, just from Goff, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Cook just about outscored Brandon's team.
That's actually
It's pretty close.
that's painful. Yeah. Wow.
There you go. There's the notey.
There is the notey. Let's see how we did. Well, we all got Brandon wrong last week. Brandon. So
Off on D's, Brandon.
go hop on the. It's one of the few times this year that you can actually say that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even when you look at it, I mean, I don't know how the hell Tyjae Spears just went off last week for 27.
I
but
think Pollard got hurt in that game.
did he?
I think so. Yeah, Tony Pollard remains the lead back. Spears may be able to carve out a role. Titans chasing points. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he did, but maybe not. Maybe he just caught 6 passes because they were getting their asses kicked.
Got his whole second touchdown of the year.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, both. Actually, Lane, he had his second and third touchdown.
Oh shoot, you're right.
He had
Yeah, my
two.
bad.
What a dog.
Whole two-thirds of his touchdowns came this past week.
So, Brandon's bench, Jerry Jeudy, is really the only one to write home about. I mean, nobody wins him this game. So, he could have started any roster he wanted, which sounds kind of hurtful.
I believe Brandon was talking pregame just between Connor and Judy,
He was.
so he made the right call there.
He did.
I don't remember if he mentioned this. He probably did, but he must have thought Sutton was locked in. I think you were feeling pretty good about Sutton too. He had been doing decent.
Yeah, Sutton's been playing very well
I
lately.
probably would have done Judy over Sutton, but not Connor. I don't think so. So yeah, that was the right call. It just wouldn't have made a difference either way. But
Yeah.
Cup, yeah, nobody saw that coming. I mean,
You can't do anything about it.
That's
You have to
crazy.
start him. I mean, if you look at his past games, right? Since coming back this year, 16, 24, 15, 34, 19, 5, 20, 0. Yeah, it's like had a game where he just couldn't do
it's
squat.
not like the game script. Well, actually, was that
Bad weather.
was it raining? Yeah, it was bad weather.
Yeah, it
That's
was
what
raining
was.
pretty
So
good.
that part made a difference, but it's not like the game was out of control.
No, I mean, it was one score game like the entire time.
Yeah.
They
Didn't
had
he
the
get
lead.
targeted in the end zone too at some point, and it just slipped, or like it was just a whiff? I think there was one play like that for him too.
He might
Possibly.
have. I don't remember. I bowl on Thursdays, so I watch it while I bowl, so I don't catch all the details. I just see the scores and the big updates. Every now and then I'll see something funny. Out of luck.
I watched the game, and honestly, it wasn't like I was, honing in on Cooper Kupp or anyone in particular, but I think it was everybody that was watching was paying attention to the 49ers and like Debo dropping crucial
Oh my
passes
god.
or stuff like that. Like nobody was
What's
paying
going
attention to the
on with
Rams.
Debo, man? It's crazy.
I
Whatever.
was too busy trying to get the waiter to give me more wild herds at B-dubs.
So big.
He was lacking.
Not big. So, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of this matchup. Lane moves on. Brandon's KO'd in the first round. Jake, I messed up. I have the Jake Your
What?
Trash at Fantasy button, but I don't have. Hold on, give me. Well,
The actual one.
yeah, I'm gonna need them both. Unfortunately, Trash at Fantasy, Brandon OG. Brandon Trash. Here we go. I'll make this real quick. Done. Hit it.
Oh, I thought you had it up. My bad.
Holy fuck. Sound button overload.
Yo, Brandon, you trash at fantasy.
There you go. Just for you, Shiz.
The biggest thing to remember is we're dead.
Oh man,
Shout
brutal.
out Travis Kelce not being Travis Kelce still.
Yeah. Well,
When
Mahomes
you-
got hurt
when
in
you
that
need him
game too,
most.
didn't he?
He did. Yeah, I forgot how much time was left. I want to say it was third quarter. I don't remember.
It could be.
Maybe it was fourth. I don't know. Second half for sure.
And he had 8 targets. He just couldn't pull them in. Or maybe they were shitty targets. I didn't watch.
Didn't help that Mahomes got hurt and he went out of the game, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was an ankle.
Yeah,
He's
that
week to
sounds right.
week, but I think I saw that he was practicing already, and I think he was a full participant even the other day.
They'll probably
Oh.
just tape him up, honestly. That'll probably be how it goes.
They might. It sounds like they. I don't know. I mean, they're still fighting for the 1 seed, so obviously you want to win, and it sounds like they're pretty tough matchups that they've got coming up. I want to say they have Pittsburgh. Yeah, Houston and Pittsburgh. Which aren't the easiest games in the world. I mean, Carson Wentz could maybe get you a win. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But anyways,
Winner depression.
pain.
Well, if
Sometimes
Mahomes doesn't play this next week, he may be a better option than who I started last week. And by bite, I mean he would be. But we'll talk about that in the next matchup.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about that right now, Jake. So I want to start with this, Jake. Last show, we had Brandon on. We were telling you some things, right? And we were half right. Okay, we were half correct. The Jameis Kansas City stack was fantastic for the Chiefs.
I did, yes. I give myself credit. I invented the Jameis and then Kansas City stack. I did invent that, and it screwed me. It screwed me over in that I felt obligated to start Jameis after inventing the stack. I will say that.
Yeah.
But
Minus
it's tough
6.
because this became an incredibly winnable game. Going into it, projection wasn't terrible. What was it? 107? Yeah, 108 to 131. So George was a pretty heavy favorite. But on Thursday, Juwan Jennings and Kyron, they didn't go off or anything. Kyron had about an average game.
Kyron was fine.
Jennings
Juwan was bad.
Grando, he got his points. I think he was lacking for a while, and then did he get a touchdown? Let me see. Maybe not.
I don't think so. I think he just had a couple big runs.
He didn't, but yeah, he had a couple big runs. But he got me the 11.5 points, which became all right. I'll take that, especially with how Juwan Jennings had 5. That's fine. Survived Thursday. Definitely became winnable. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely toying with the idea of quarterback and then the idea of my second receiver, whether it was going to be Elijah Moore, Jaden Reed, or Jameson Williams. I would have put Cedric Tillman if he was available. He was not available.
He's
But
trash.
I really wanted to. Okay, I think he's good, but whatever. I think Cedric Tillman was good. There was one crucial error that I completely overlooked, which was what changed it was David Njoku being ruled out. I want to say an hour before the game,
Yeah, about
maybe
that
a little
time.
bit more than that. I should have realized that without David Njoku, Jameis,
That's a good point.
I think that really screwed over Jameson, in my opinion. I
don't
didn't think
know,
about
man.
that till about halftime, but I was like, I don't think Jameis would have had -6 if Njoku was playing. I still
You're
don't think
right.
that,
He
but
would have had -3.
Hey, no, he would have been better than that. But, so I'm glad I didn't start Elijah Moore. Obviously, that would have made this look worse.
That would've
Jameson
been
actually had a
embarrassing.
really slow game and then salvaged it with a touchdown at the end.
Salvaged it.
He did.
He didn't
Yeah,
salvage
he
shit, dude. He stopped the. He had both of his arms chopped off, and he stopped the bleeding. But he still
said
missed
Jameson.
2 arms, man.
I'm talking about Jameson Williams.
Oh,
Jameson Williams.
okay.
Yeah, he salvaged
Okay.
it.
I
That's
thought
what
you said
meant to say.
Jameis.
Yeah, I've got Jameson.
Oh,
and
Jameis didn't even have a
I was talking
touchdown.
about Jameson. He had a touchdown toward the end of the game. At the end of the game, so that's salvaged
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That I agree with that. Okay, cool. My
No,
bad.
Jameis Winston did not salvage anything.
I
and then
was
he
gonna
got
say
benched.
I didn't even know he had a touchdown.
It started out like he was just taking sacks, and I'm like, okay, that's points for my defense, whatever. I was feeling good because everything I know about Jameis tells me that he's going to eventually go back into the positive. Like he did for 400 yards a couple weeks ago. I thought he was totally going to get me to like 20 points. It did not happen, but
Yeah. You were getting the Jalen
even
Hurts
with the
treatment, but you
Chiefs.
didn't get the Jalen Hurts second half.
No. And then when they just benched Jameis too, and now they announced that he's not going to start for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just brutal. But
DTR starting. DTR didn't look any better though. He threw a pick too. He's trash.
Yeah, and now obviously Lamar was playing at the same time. And
Yeah.
we just looked at Goff. We just looked at Goff versus Hurts, and we saw there's a huge differential between the two. It was like 53 to 29 or something like that.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's tough to overcome. No, this is impossible to overcome.
Yeah.
Seemingly,
It really
50-point difference from the quarterback position. Georgia's team did not do good.
No, Georgia's
You
team
can
was
shit talk in the
bad.
chat, but I call them a Lamar merchant. Most teams that have Lamar this year are Lamar merchants, but this was painful. Really wanted to beat George here. CeeDee Lamb still play. Like I think you guys reassured me that you still have to start him. I was going to do it anyway, but I mean, I didn't. I don't love that it's Cooper Rush, but he's still getting his points. He still looks great.
Yeah,
David
he looks
Montgomery.
good.
That was one thing. David Montgomery. Nobody knew that he was hurt. They didn't say anything on the broadcast until later after the game, saying that he was out.
Yeah, it was wild.
And then suddenly he's out for the year.
Because you were
they didn't say anything.
You were talking on the group chat, right? Because you, me, and Brandon were talking, and you're like, Dave Montgomery's not getting any work. What's going on? This is the first time all year this happened. Pretty much all year long.
They did not report anything.
Well, exactly.
From Sleeper or something.
Pretty much all year, Detroit's been like taking turns every other drive. It's Montgomery, then it's Gibbs. Montgomery, then it's Gibbs. And it just for the most part went like that. A couple carries here and there might have deviated, but so then to see Dave Montgomery not get like any work was really confusing. I wasn't complaining because I have Gibbs in one of my leagues, so I was having a great time. However, yeah, it was concerning, especially for a guy who has Dave Montgomery in his flex. So then to find out that he, I believe, tore his MCL. He's having surgery, so I assume he tore it.
I don't remember. I just know he's out for the year. I think it was a tear, though. Yeah.
I don't think they do surgery for a sprain typically, so I would imagine it was a tear.
Yeah, which that was pretty brutal. Brandon Aubrey showed out again, just like in the beginning of the season.
He's seeing a third opinion. Which is why they have not yet placed him on IR. He's expected to go season-ending surgery to address a sprain. Okay, so maybe it's a partial tear, because I think a sprain by definition can be like a hyperextension or a partial tear. So maybe it's a really nasty sprain. I had never heard of surgery for a sprain, personally. That's a new one for me.
Yeah. And Lane, I don't know how closely you've been watching this matchup over the weekend, but it was still, even after all of this, after Jalen scored his -6, after Lamar scored 6, this was still like a pretty close projection. Like I might have been projected to lose by 10 to 15 at one point.
It was a game still, though.
And I think going into Sunday night, I was projected to lose, let's see. I think George needed around 25 or something, maybe around there between Jefferson and Charbonnet. So we thought maybe if Charbonnet had like less than like 7 points,
if he had a shitter,
maybe something could happen. And he was for a long time.
Oh yeah,
and then
he busted that one touchdown.
Game
Brutal
on the sweep, and he would have had like 5 points otherwise. So that was absolutely brutal, because then it was like, I don't know, 4 points going into.
Yeah, you would have had a 4 or 5 point buffer for Justin Jefferson. Granted, he had 20 points, but you at least would have had hope, because I think the last time he played the Bears wasn't that great, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was shut down the last time.
Yeah, 4.7.
So there was
that's what you would have needed.
A little hope. He scored a touchdown on the first drive or second drive.
It would have ended quickly.
It would have, but. Yeah, so it does just come down to the obvious quarterback situation here, sadly. Really wanted to beat George. I was getting texted by everybody in the league. George has apparently made a lot of enemies in the league. Fair enough. Or everybody just disrespects my team, which is very fair also.
It might have been
combination
a
of the
little
two.
bit of both. I know Brandon was preying on Georgia's downfall. You know what? I think all the playoff teams were hoping you would win for personal reasons.
That makes sense. Yeah. Names battle. I'm never going to beat Georgia in names battle, but
No.
just also not having Georgia advance.
Your
Also
team
fun.
did cast its typical stink on him. However, Jameis did
Yeah.
Jameis things. You know, Jameis is a straight up
You can't predict
roulette
that.
wheel.
And I couldn't predict that. I really couldn't.
You can't predict anything Jameis does. One game he'll have -6, the next game he'll have 55 points. It doesn't matter. He's Jameis Winston. He'll do whatever he wants. The thing about it that kind of I find interesting is -6 is such a low score, man. Like you see bad quarterbacks go out and have like -2, -3. You know, they have a bad game, right? A real stinker. They throw no touchdowns. Maybe they throw a pick and they get sacked a handful of times. They throw for like 100-something yards, you know. But to have -6 is a special thing because not only you have to be good enough to not get benched and play the entire game horribly, or you have to do what Jameis did and be so horrendously bad in such a short period of time that you just he could have scored a touchdown, Jake, and he would have been like at 0 points, depending on how many yards it would have been for. Like that's ridiculous.
Looking at the stat line right now, 146 passing yards, 3 interceptions, 5 sacks, 2 rush attempts, -2 rushing yards, fumble. So 5
And
sacks, 3
fumbled,
interceptions, and a
Jesus.
fumble.
How many passing attempts did he have? Does it say?
It doesn't say what I'm looking at right
Yeah.
now. Might somewhere on
Unfortunate.
mobile. I'm not sure where it
Yeah.
shows. But yeah, what's
okay.
funny about it is, I mean, if you're a team and you're trying to win, like the Browns are trying to
there
win,
it
I
is.
get,
16 completions
I don't
on
know.
25 attempts.
Judging from Hard Knocks, they're technically saying they're trying to win. I don't know if they're trying to win or not. But
Yeah.
even if Jameis is having this bad of a game,
He's
he's
still
somehow
better.
still your best option.
He is.
somehow still your
I agree.
best option.
You'll win more
Come
games
back.
with Jameis. You'll lose more. You'll lose plenty of games with Jameis, right? You will live and die by Jameis Winston. But he is 100% a better quarterback than was it DTR?
DTR.
Dorian
Thomas Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy's name always confuses me. Yeah, that blows my mind. How does it feel seeing Jordan Love on your bench after being so 50-50
That was
on
another
it?
thing.
He would have won you the
Yep.
game by quite a bit.
So I talked about this on the last rewind, but as good as I felt about Jameis getting at least enough points to offset any losses I'd take from the Chiefs defense or vice versa, I felt like this game in Seattle could potentially, I felt like we wouldn't have to pass that much. And actually, we had a late score. That second Dobbs touchdown was pretty late in the fourth quarter.
Would that have
Jordan
won
Love
you the
would have
game?
had probably 13 or 12, 13 points.
Yeah.
We didn't need to pass that much against them. Josh Jacobs looked great. We did pass a little bit, but we didn't have to. Kind of what I expected. But if we would have lost that game, he would have had even less points likely. Well, maybe not less, but
You probably
around
would
the
have been
same
like
area.
just barely up, I think, before that touchdown.
Yeah.
I think. Because if you give
just
Jordan
felt
Love
like-
12 points and you replace that with Jameis, you're at about 140.
Yeah, I would have been around there for sure. I felt like Jameis was the higher upside play here.
Oh,
and I
he is.
still feel solid about that. With Jordan Love, I don't know. It was just
Yeah, that's
to
tough.
see.
That is
And
super
Caleb
tough.
Williams obviously didn't do anything. I've been holding him the whole year. I don't even know how many times I started him.
Did you see that
But-
meme that's been floating around today of after he took that big hit and he's like leaned over on the bench, like gasping for air? Look, basically, he's like dying.
I don't know if I saw that one in particular. I think the other one, he's just laying on the ground.
I recommend.
I'll have to find that one.
I recommend checking it out. There was like a little video clip that I saw. It was like 5-10 seconds. He's like,
Yeah.
He looks depressed. If you take it out of context, it's hilarious. Yeah, I guess not hilarious that
see if
he's
I can find
depressed,
that.
but hilarious that he's a Bears quarterback and he's depressed.
Yeah. Depressed with that offensive line. It's fair.
Oh my
Very
goodness, he took an absolute shot right before that. So that's the context. But if you take it out of context, it's just really funny. It's like, wow, this guy realizes
That is
he plays
true.
for the Bears. So
Yeah, and even in the group chat, this isn't about kill ones. I was just looking at so George on his bench, he had AJ Brown and T Higgins when he started Juwan Jennings. I posted a screenshot that showed T Higgins and AJ Brown score.
AJ Brown on his bench is
Actually-
hilarious because I'm pretty sure in the previous rewind, I told him that I'd probably play Juwan over AJ Brown.
Let's go. Yeah.
My bad, George. My bad. You won. It doesn't matter.
Hey, that's why he
fine.
says that you lose when you go on here because he always listens to the advice.
Probably true. We give some shitty advice, Jake. Just look at your
We
James
do.
situation, man. You know, I
We give
I
some
think it's
really good
a.
advice.
This is on you though, Jake. The Jameis Winston pull this week is on you. Brandon and I may have told you to do it, but this is
Yeah, this one was on me.
this is the second time we've convinced you to start Jameis when he has been horrible. I believe the other time might have been against the Chargers here with the 5 points, or it was the Pittsburgh game with 12. One of the two. I don't remember
It
which.
was the Pittsburgh one.
was
I'm pretty
Pittsburgh?
sure.
So
Yeah, I think
this
so.
is the second time that Brandon and I have convinced you to start Jameis, and you know it's a fool me once, shame on us, and a fool me twice, shame on you kind of thing, Jake.
Yep.
Um,
That's fair. Yeah.
it's on you, and
I think
I'm
I'm gonna have to
cackling.
not roster Jordan Love next year because I think this is this. I think I had him the year prior, also maybe not, but I thought I did. Maybe I had him in a different league, but I get into the state where I'm trying to like not start a Packer. So if they end up doing good, I'm happy in real life from the Packers just doing good.
Ooh.
I have to just not worry about
Don't be a
that.
puss. Just start him.
I shouldn't be emotionally hedging in fantasy football. It's not.
Nope.
It's not smart. Just trust in Jordan Love during the Tour-a-thon.
Now, I
That's all
do
gotta
think it would be good advice if you just didn't roster Jameis next year.
That will happen, likely, very likely. I am expecting to have a better quarterback roster or like stack of quarterbacks than
You want Patrick
Jordan Love and
Mahomes?
Caleb Williams. Not really. No, not really.
That's
I
good.
believe it was an 11th round pick that I could have paid for Patrick Mahomes. I decided not to. Now I have to
Oof.
take a look at how many points he got. That would be good information to find out right about now.
I don't know. He got hurt. You can go to Lemons' team quick. Step
Oh,
Burrow,
no.
I'm stuck. Or would he have won it for you? 19, he totally
Got
would have.
19.76.
He would have won it big time
Got
for
20.
you. Oh,
You
that's
know,
tough.
That is tough. But would I have started Jordan Love over him?
Yes.
It would have been the same thing, I guess. Yeah.
Either way, you would have won. Wow, we are
Damn.
giving
Now I'm
Jake
just really
depression.
hoping my team just does nothing next week, so I can't feel like I missed out on a playoff run here. Oh,
Jake.
You're trash at fantasy.
Well, you guys got anything left with this match? I got nothing on
Nope,
this matchup.
nope, that's it. George, kudos to you, Lamar Merchants. If you take away Lamar's massive game and give him 20, 30 points, your team is kind of trash. Bad
I have to
GM.
agree.
Bad GM week. You got away with it. T. Higgins, AJ Brown on the bench, Jonu on the bench. All those guys were better than your starters. You're trash at fantasy. All right. Best players of the week this week. So in the playoffs, I like to only consider playoff players. So I don't look at the waivers and I don't look at any of the teams that aren't in it or on bye. So I just look at the teams that are playing because I find that to be the interesting part. Interestingly, it doesn't always go this way, but it did this week. Every single team had at least one position. Quarterback Jared Goff, attaboy Lane, 53.06. James Conner for Brandon in the flex, 33.8. Wide receiver was Amon-Ra, also on Lane's team, 43.3. Jonu on George's bench, 19.8. That's George's only player, so get dubbed, George. You had a guy, but he was on the bench, so trash GM. Brandon Aubrey for Jake, 16 points, and the Kansas City defense for Jake, 23 points. So you had the special teams in the D, baby.
That's great GM work right there. Special teams.
It really is.
Studs.
Well, I don't know about kicker. Kicker's a shit shot every week. But Chiefs defense, baby. The Jameis stack. At least it worked out for you a little bit. Every interception was actually a net neutral. Jameis Winston could have thrown 20 interceptions, and you would have gained and lost 0 points.
I clipped to the part in the pod last week that we were talking about the stack, and I was so ready to post it in the group. If Jameis would have got, how many points do you think it would have been necessary for me to be able to post that? I think 15. I think 15.
All he would have needed was 12, and you would have won. I think all you would have needed, Jake, was to win.
Okay, then yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Especially if he threw a touchdown or something late to get a big you know,
Yeah,
or a pick six that would have also been acceptable. It's a shame, really, that one of those wasn't a pick six.
I know. I was surprised by that.
If two of those were
Yeah.
pick sixes, you would have won.
Straight up.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually not true. You would
We're
have
on to
needed
next
3 of
year.
them, I think. Yeah, you are. A couple people aren't.
Lane's not yet, but
All
we
right,
are.
let's check transactions quick. I don't think there's a ton going on, but that's tough to see. Jameis Winston on the waiver wire. That's unnecessary, Jake. Why'd you do that?
I had to do it.
He earned it.
He did earn it. That's a good point. All right. Well, moves this week. Oh, Cade dropped his load on Jerome Ford. 80 fab. I guess
Might as
deserved.
well.
I mean, he had a touchdown.
Might as well.
7 carries for 84 yards against the Chiefs defense. He must have busted off a big one or something because that's a ton of yards. Yeah, 62-yarder for a touchdown late in the fourth. I mean, Nick Chubb.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Nick Chubb looks really bad, and I believe he got hurt. Yep. Yeah, Nick Chubb is sidelined. I don't remember if he re-injured his knee or if it was a different one. I thought it was a knee, so he might have re-injured it. Now, I don't know how that offense will be with DTR. Chubb's been carrying the rock, and he's been not very good. Ford's been mixed in, obviously, been not very good. He can have a big game. The Bengals defense isn't the best, so sure, but I don't know. That offense might not be good enough where Cade would really start him. Cade's team is good.
Yeah, this isn't the same Browns team that made the playoffs last year.
Correct.
Flacco. Because
So-
that's what I think about, because Eric won our family league last year with Flacco and the running back you just pulled up right there. Ford, actually.
Travis
They were
Etienne.
both studs last year in fantasy.
was.
To help him win the championship was wild.
There you go.
But,
Greg picked up
that's
ETN
where
for free.
I was expecting Jameis to be that guy this year. He got ETN.
Yeah. I mean, he's had a couple 12-point games in a pinch, I guess, but nobody's keeping ETN, so depth, I guess. Alexander Madison got picked up for Cade. He's trash too, but he plays the Jags this week. Sorry, Lane.
I mean, it's respectable. I definitely understand.
And then Jameis and Jonathan Brooks got cut. Rip Jonathan Brooks played like 2 games, and I mean, really didn't play at all.
Only reason I did it is because I gotta carry Evan Ingram and T-Law out of the championship.
Respect, immense respect.
Gotta leave him on the
Are you gonna
IR,
pick
carry
up
him on.
what is it, Brandon Strange or whatever his name is?
Is it Brenton?
Oh, you might be right. It
Look
might
at
be Brenton.
Strange. I would figure that Strange isn't out there, but
I would imagine he is. He had a huge week though. I'll tell you that. He had
no, he's on who is this?
somebody really has him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Michael has him,
Lemons
actually.
has. That's hilarious. He had
He had him in
11
the
catches
flex,
for 73. That's awesome. Honestly, he had 18 points last week, man. He had a big
He has
week.
Kittle on the bench too.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Lemons does what he wants. All right, well, that's it for the transactions. Matchup previews. Here we go, boys. Week 16, we have the semifinals. Cade and George, 2nd and 3rd seed, going head-to-head. The Battle of Nations, says George. Yeah, this will be, what the folks are going to come in and pay the big money for tickets to see. Josh Allen has been absolutely cooking lately. Cade probably saw Josh Allen's week last week and was kind of sad that he didn't have an opportunity to use it. 48 points, 64 the week before. Jake, how does that make you feel seeing that? Maybe you should just draft Josh Allen.
I don't even. Yeah, it would. Yeah, that's very true.
Sounds like a pretty
I'm gonna
easy
have
way to
some
make the
more
playoffs.
The last couple of years, I've been drafting quarterbacks late and thinking that's going to work. And it's worked like with Dak before, but
Yeah, but you
not
just
with-
picked Dak up,
this
didn't you? I don't think you even drafted him that year.
I
Maybe
think
you
I
did.
drafted him, but then I picked up Purdy as a second quarterback. That kind of mixed
Yeah.
it. But yes, guys like Lamar and Josh Allen, this would be fun to start those guys and not have to think about quarterback at all.
We've got Terry, who's been absolutely cooking as well. Phillies, though, really
Yeah.
tough defense to go up against. Nico Collins, a stud. Saquon,
He had a bad week last week. So
yeah, he picked up an injury in that game and didn't really look quite
Oh.
the same. Kenneth Gainwell got worked in a bit more, but yeah, he was, I guess he was seen stretching and working on his right leg. He picked up an injury that game and didn't really look the same after, so he'll be worth monitoring. If he's active, you have to play him because he's Saquon, but you might temper your expectations with him. I think I'd take the under on that projection, unless he's 100% totally fine, just cramped up or something. Kenneth Walker's kind of in a similar boat. He's a scary start, man. He's been dealing with that calf injury. Hasn't played in a couple weeks. Even if he does play, Minnesota's a tough defense, and Charbonnet, for all intents and purposes, for the Seahawks, has been all right. I don't know if Kenneth Walker gets ruled active this week. I don't think he just goes in and gets 14, 16, 20 carries like he's been getting. I think you're probably talking more in the 8 to 12 range, personally. And I don't know if that's really going to cut it against the Vikings defense. I think I'd be probably more interested in playing Tyrone Tracy. He's healthy. But maybe I guess that's why Cade picked up Jerome Ford and Alexander Madison. He realized he might have to make some moves at running back here. Funny enough.
Who got Akers?
Who got Akers? Cam Akers?
Yeah.
Probably not a playoff team.
Who cares about Cam Akers?
Starting him.
I don't know. He looked good last week. Not really. He put a TD in
That's
Lane has it.
These are some super teams.
Wait, did Lane just pick him up?
No, I
No,
didn't.
Oh, he's
I
a
was just
free
laughing
agent.
because he was talking about Cam Akers and he scored less than 10 points. So
Oh,
I
okay.
know.
I thought Lane
He
just
put a
picked him up or
touchdown in, though.
something. He did.
You're right. He actually didn't look as bad as normal Cam Akers.
I was like, why the fuck
Yeah.
are we talking about Cam Akers?
I only laughed, Lane, because I was a Cam Akers guy, and I'm like, there's no shot Cam Akers is now like the
He's
guy
back,
that you have
Jake.
to actually
He's
pick
No,
up.
no, he's
There's
not.
no
He
way.
just put nothing.
Oh, that's good. I mean, Tucker Kraft's been, a tight end, so hit or miss. Mike Evans, though, I am excited for Mike Evans against the Dallas Cowboys. He had
He's trying to
42
get
points last week.
keep his 1,000-yard streak alive.
That's
He's
the
going to
thing.
get it.
He
It's
has
actually a fact.
I believe it's a $3 million bonus if he gets like 200 something yards in the next two games, like 220 or 250, somewhere in there, and maybe a touchdown or two. He has like a big bonus. Usually those bonuses are $250,000, $500,000, right? It's like a $3 million bonus.
I mean, this man hasn't had less than 1,000 yards since high school, so
Yeah, he's an absolute dog. And if I have anybody that I want to put money on to bust 1,000 yards that isn't there yet, Mike Evans is my guy. Unless there's somebody at 999. So
It's Cooper Cup.
Payne, I think I take Mike Evans.
Yeah, I would too.
Plus, the Dallas defense right now has not been very good. So, plus Mike Evans is the only guy there because Godwin's been out. I think he's done for the year, right? He picked up
Yeah,
an
he's
injury
been
a few
out,
weeks ago.
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
So, yeah, love the Mike Evans play here. You're welcome, Cade. Third round pick, very worth it. And shake emoji. The bench is nice. JSN could be put in whenever. But funny enough, Cade's team was really wide receiver weak this year and until he made a bunch of trades, and now he's loaded a wide receiver, and his running back room is a bit shaky going into this week with the injuries. So I find that a little interesting. On George's side of the ball, we've got the Lamar Merchants. Going up against Pittsburgh, though. Really tough matchup. Last time we played Pittsburgh, he only had 15 points. Now this one's at home. But, I don't know, temper your expectations a little bit. This might be more of a 10, 20, 30 point Lamar week and not a 40, 50. AJ Brown. Yeah, just feed Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
My guy. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks since he scored a touchdown.
Today's the week, or this week's the week. I mean.
True. AJ Brown's been pretty volatile. Justin Jefferson is obviously a dog. You're starting AJ Brown though. I don't think you're benching him. Washington's not a bad matchup. Kyron, you're playing. Brees Hall, you're playing. Trey McBride, Carolina, yes please. Did you guys see that Kyler tweeted saying that he was going to get McBride a touchdown this year?
I did not see that, but that's
He did.
yeah. Got
He
to start
said,
him then.
I believe he's number 85. He said, I'm going to get 85 a touchdown this year. Better believe it. T. Higgins in the flex right now going up against Cleveland. I mean, seems like a pretty good start to me. On his bench, he's got Charbonnet, who's also banged up apparently with an oblique. I didn't catch that. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play and Charbonnet does, I'm putting Charbonnet there. Maybe not. Minnesota's a tough matchup. That is tough. Maybe you keep T. Higgins there. If last week didn't happen, I'd say that because he had that 43-point week against the Cardinals and looked awesome. But I don't know, man. Green Bay kind of locked them down. I think it might
Their
depend
offensive
on
line is just so bad.
Geno's health too.
Seahawks.
Is Geno supposed to play this week? Have you guys heard?
I think he's out. I think he's
Yeah.
out. I thought, or at least there was bad news.
If
about
Geno
that.
doesn't play, then I'm not starting Charbonnet because holy shit, can Sam Howell not run an offense? Ramondre against Buffalo. Yeah, I think Georgia's squad is the correct squad. Cade's got a couple more decisions that he could make depending on health. I think if Tracy and Kenneth Walker are both active, I might be starting Tracy, personally. But I don't know. It's a tough call. Hard to bench your studs. Hey, who do you guys got in this one, huh?
Yeah, that's where my first instinct was as well. It's Cade.
Laner, you said Cade?
I'm going for the sibling championship.
Oh,
Has that happened before?
probably not.
I don't think so, no.
Brandon's relatively new in this league. I know I haven't seen him in the championship, and Cade's also not a legacy guy. I don't think you guys have ever seen each other in the championship. Jake?
Yeah, I'm taking Cade's team here.
I'm going to go George. I know that's not the people's pick, but I am genuinely concerned about Cade's running back room. And I think Georgia's guys can get it done. Very cool. Let's move on to the matchup we all want to see. This is the people's matchup right here. Two teams that I think everybody respects, enjoys, wants to cheer for. Baker Mayfield with the questionable tag. I feel like that 17-point projection is egregious. Baker Mayfield outscores that 10 times out of 10. Are you freaking kidding me? Against Dallas's defense? Light it up, baby. Baker's back. I'd put his projection at 21, personally. Yahoo, hire me. All available. Jamar Chase has been doing some legendary things lately, so obviously he's in, even for Greg. Shout out. Drake London, cool. Jahmyr Gibbs I think he's actually going to feast beyond levels of feasting that we've seen in a long time. He has very easy RB1 potential this week with no David Montgomery. You can run all over Chicago. He's going to catch the ball. Detroit's going to light their asses up. Montgomery's out. Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a very exciting start this week. I'd take the over on that projection. Aaron Jones, senior. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. Cam Akers is going to steal his job.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers against the Jags is juicy. Xavier Worthy had like 11 targets last week or something. Yeah, 11 targets, 6 catches, 46 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, he had a good week last week. If he can stay that kind of that level of involved, he's not a bad start. I don't know. I mean, does Greg have any better option?
If Mahomes doesn't play, do you think that's better for Worthy or worse? Because it feels like it should be worse, but at the same time, they might just do a lot of really quick passes to him.
If Mahomes doesn't play, I'm not touching anybody on that offense other than Kelsey, and even then, I'm sad.
I'm just looking at the other options for Greg and what makes sense here.
If Worthy doesn't play, I would start ETN. I don't think I'd start Tank Dell. I'd start Michael Pittman. I would not start Swift. Shit, I'd probably flex the Muth before I play Worthy if Mahomes doesn't play, in my opinion. If Mahomes doesn't play, Worthy's dead to me because that Chiefs offense is moving shit.
For some reason, I
sorry,
think I think they're just gonna try to get him the ball on like quick screens or like a reverse type thing. I think he'll be fine. I don't know why.
I mean, hey, it's very possible, absolutely. I'd pick up Christian Watson and play him pretty easily over Worthy. Not Javante. Jalen Coker had a huge week last week. I find that hilarious. He had like a big long touchdown.
Like an 82-yarder.
Yeah. Ray McLeod, I think I'd pick up and play. Although, maybe not. With the Kirk Cousins bench thing, probably not.
Yeah, you never know.
If Kirk Cousins was playing, I'd play Ray. That's about it, though. Yeah. I guess I'm anti-Xavier Worthy, though. He has upside. Every week he does. His floor's just so scary. When you're the favorite, you just don't need the guy like that. You know, what you need is a guy like Travis Etienne who's going to get you 10 points. But maybe that's just me. On lane side of the ball, immense upside. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra stack up against the Bears. With no Montgomery, they might throw the ball a little more.
I was about to say, you just talked about Baker, his projection being a little low.
Yeah.
I mean, Jared Goff, he just scored a 50.
Yeah, the thing about
higher projection too.
thing about Jared Goff's projection, though, is he's been milking that 17-point range pretty much all year, other than those massive games. So it's a bit more understandable for me. Whereas Baker, every single week, he's beating that. You know, he has a stinker every now and then, right? 6 points there, 6 points there. But other than that, it's 20, 30. He doesn't have quite the ceiling that Goff has, in my opinion. I don't know if Baker really has a 50-plus pointer in his bag without Godwin. But Jared Goff has a lower floor coupled with that higher ceiling, right? Because he can put up 50-plus, yes, sir. But he can put up, 10, 11, 15, 16. I mean, that was a stretch. It's possible, right? And the Bears are a tough matchup for a quarterback for whatever reason. I don't know if their defense is actually good or if teams are just running on them because they're beating the bricks off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. I mean, you're going to need it, though, Laner. You are going to need it.
Yeah, I got this in the bag. We're good.
Ooh.
It's got it in the bag.
Fucking love it.
Guess we go straight to predictions.
Yeah, screw it. I love the James Cook play. Keenan Allen, yes, sir. That'll be a big game for you, that Detroit-Chicago game. You're going to need a shootout. Derrick Henry, tough matchup against Pittsburgh, but all he really needs is for Lamar to not steal the touchdowns. He should at least be okay. Njoku, if he plays, is in. If he doesn't play...
Is he in automatically if he barely gets to play and then DTR is the quarterback is the question?
Ooh. Probably.
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
So.
DNP on Wednesday is not the best of signs. I guess it's Hunter Henry, though, if he doesn't. So, yikes. Hunter Henry's not the worst.
It could be worse, but
Yeah, it can definitely be worse. He can get the job done. But you lose that upside because Njoku's actually good. It's a real shame that you had Njoku and Ingram and they both got hurt.
yeah,
Because both those guys were
really
great.
do?
It's tough.
That's the only thing about it is not much I can end up doing with it.
Yeah, can't win them all. You're hoping for one of those Jordan Addison weeks where he just puts up a shit ton of points.
Basically, at this point, it's going to be.
He's been playing good football.
He did good. Yeah, he did do good this last week, but
yeah, he's solid.
It's just inconsistent.
You're gonna play Tajay Spears?
I don't think so. I gotta keep Derek in.
Wow, no pride. Yeah, I don't think I'd really change much else. Jalen McMillan, I thought had been playing pretty well. Yeah, couple pretty good weeks. Plays against Cowboys this week. He's an option if you need a spot start. Someone picks up an injury or something. I don't think I'd start him over anybody you have in right now, but if something happens.
Yeah, no, it was
a little bit of Baker deterrent.
He was a mid show pickup here.
Oh,
my
big.
Classic.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice. So I'd stay away from Hopkins if Mahomes doesn't play. Even if Mahomes does play, he's still kind of a scary start because Mahomes is not going to have his mobility that he normally has. But in a pinch, I think I'd probably play McMillan over Hopkins. if it comes to
Yeah,
that.
I can agree with that.
So, Laner, I assume you have yourself here.
Yep.
Jake?
I like rooting for the underdog in projections, but Greg is on an unprecedented win streak right now.
It is.
Well, actually, it came to an end last week. He did not win last week.
It's true.
But I
Still
guess being
10
on
gamer, I
bye,
think.
it's still technically a win. So I don't know.
I
Last
don't
week we
think it
talked.
gave him a win. Did it?
It would definitely still count as a win streak, but I was just kidding. But
Oh, no, he's on the streak. Okay, they just didn't add to
10?
his streak. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still 10.
Okay. For that reason, I think I just have to ride with Greg here.
Yeah, I'm going with Greg,
10-game win
too.
streak.
Sorry, Laner. His team is nasty.
Nah.
He has some fantastic matchups. Look at all that green. Literally 2 players not green, and they're gray. And one of them is the Giants.
One thing I will say, it would have been really if I was Greg here last year at his wedding. I was obviously going all in and making a lot of trades.
Yep.
If he would have traded for Joe Burrow, that would have we could have canceled the rest of the season. If he would have made that trade, I think he could have pulled it off with lemons.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know. Baker's been good, but I think if he could have done, I think he should have
Baker's
done
been
that.
really good, but the stack, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about just to have a better option. Like Baker's
Wow.
been good, but
Hey, what are you saying about my boy, Baker Mayfield?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like if he's gonna make the championship, you're playing Josh Allen or Lamar. I think you gotta.
Jake, would
go all
would
in.
Baker have won you your game last week?
He would have a lot
Yeah.
of quarterbacks.
All right.
But
I'm
actually,
ending the
every
show right
other
there.
quarterback, I think every single. There's not one option out there I could have picked that would have been a worse option than Jameis.
That is probably correct.
It's a fact. That is a
Yeah.
fact. That is a fact.
But there
I could've
are
started
options
Blake
that you could have
Bortles
picked
if he's
that
out
wouldn't
there.
have won it. You still would have lost Blake Bortles. Barely.
That's true.
So. Alrighty.
Even play it still.
Oh, Jesus. What a game. What a game. This will be a fun one. I'm excited for this matchup. I guess that brings us to the roasts, huh, gents?
Let's do it.
Okay. Head back a week. Start with Brandon. Jake, are you ready?
I am.
Attaboy. Brandon. Imagine getting bounced in round 1 when every single player on your team is drafted in the top 10 rounds.
Boom. Roasted.
Yo, Brandon, you trash at fantasy.
All right, Jake. I'd quit your laughing. Because you're up next.
Am I gonna have to press the button myself?
You know what? I'll handle it.
Appreciate it.
I'll
Thank
handle
you.
it for you. But, Jake, I just want to warn you, this is a playoff level roast.
Oh,
Jake, benching Jordan Love of this matchup was a catastrophic mistake that only a fool would make. I don't know any single person in this league that ever would have recommended Jameis in there. No idea. But I do have a question for you. What are you getting George for Father's Day? Because he's more of a father to you than Jeff is at this point.
Boom. Roasted.
The biggest thing to remember is
Yo, Brandon, you trash
Oh,
at
Jake.
He pressed it.
You trash at
I pressed
Who
the.
pressed
I
the
pressed.
Brandon one?
That
Who
was
pressed the
me.
Brandon one? He
No.
butchered it. He butchered it.
No, I
That
did.
almost was the
No.
perfect sequence.
All right,
Almost the perfect
I'm gonna
sequence.
go into the
He butchered
rewind
it.
and cut that out. I'm gonna cut that.
Oh.
No, not really. I'll leave it in.
Almost the
Jake,
perfect sequence.
I need a Bryant's your trash at podcasting button. Fuck. Oh, it was so
Aw.
good.
Oh,
Man. All right, well, you know, you can't win them all. There's a reason I'm not in the playoffs, I guess.
I just watched 4 buttons get highlighted, and then I did see the Brandon trash one.
Yeah, I saw the trash
Let's
can
go.
icon and I just smashed it. I forgot that I added Brandon's too. Oh,
Nice.
pain. Not nice, Jake. Not nice. Well, that does it for the show, everybody. So, good luck next week to the playoff teams. I guess the people that aren't in the playoffs too. Looks like we have matchups. Cool. Maybe I'll set my lineup. Beat Nick. Good luck to everybody except for Greg. Hope you lose, buddy. Except I
Hell
picked
yeah.
you, so I wouldn't be too sad. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Catch you next week.